Hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Geass. We're on episode 8 of season 2, and in the last episode, Lelouch obviously on the sort of verge of fucking collapse, almost hitting rock bottom from everything that happened in the previous episode. So yeah, it took him basically a full episode to get back around to you know, being Zero again, and the things that really, you know, mattered to him ended up coming sort of you know, coming all back to him at once. Originally it was all for Nunnally, the whole thing. Now he's realising it's the importance of others and not just about Nunnally. Of course, Nunnally still, you know what I mean, it obviously means a lot to him, and the most, but he's realised that there are other people as well to take into consideration as well, which is obviously his friends in the student council, Carlin, you know what I mean, all of these different people. So yeah, he's back at Zero now, and with Nunnally wanting to do the whole special zone thing that Yuffie wanted to do, Lelouch obviously as Zero wants to help, you know, do that. So yeah, so we're going to see in this episode what becomes of that, if the Black Knights are even willing to go through with that shit. How's Zaku's going to feel about it? A lot of different people, the Japanese people, because last time it was a trap from their eyes, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else really to talk about, so without further ado, we get in episode 8, see what we get, so let's go.
Big brother, the promise you made.
Yes, I'll keep it.
So you've agreed to the special zone. That doesn't wash away the blood that's on your hands.
Well,
Shall we pursue the Vincent?
Unnecessary. Suspend the search for C2 until we receive further orders. Be careful, Rolo. If they get you, they'll catch me in the same net.
Okay. If Zero is making decisions that aren't in the interests of the Japanese people, then...
Are you meaning...
Fighting. Then more fighting. And then what?
Huh? Hold on! What are you
starting
saying?
to
We should
realize
dance
in the
with
fight
them?
fire thing, yeah.
Unless you know some other way to do this.
No.
What do we do about the special zone?
Please don't lose your nerve about it at a time like this.
Damn it, just got a work permit as an honorary Britannian.
Exactly. What's the point of being Japanese again? So only people without jobs should join in?
I'd like you to please stick to the prepared manuscript this time.
I was acting as Viceroy.
A viceroy is not a king. I will support your attempt to revive the special zone this time, but henceforth, please consult with me on such matters beforehand.
Looks like I'm
What
going to be a little
importance
busy.
does she have, like,
Special
over the
zone.
Viceroy?
Have you thought about Colin? Isn't there some way you can help her out?
We all know you're working for world peace and all, but family and friends are important too, right?
Lelouch, have you really lost your memory? Or are you covering up? If you do remember, this is what I'd like to know. Why did you have to kill Yuffie? Surely you could have found another way. Die! You, who used your Geass to force me to live, knowing that in my heart I sought the punishment of death.
We've already sent Sayoko Shinozaki there.
I see. Well done, Detard.
Yeah, he's in China, isn't he?
Thank you for those words. I'm deeply honored.
I will protect this school. You and I live here now as brothers. I won't let anything interfere with that.
I'm helping you because I have something to protect now. If you were discovered, this school would be destroyed and everything lost. We share the same destiny, you and I.
Sorry I'm late. Club activities ran overtime. Lelouch, what did you want?
About Ogi, do you miss him?
Oh, I need her again.
Cannon!
Hello, it's been a while.
I just completed peace negotiations with the French.
In that case, you should keep pushing forward.
If you press victory too hard or too fast, you are inviting defeat. Everyone has something they yearn for.
What?
He seems to like you, Anya.
Do you miss them? Japanese things?
Yes, I wonder. I do have some good memories.
I need your signature on this. It's the order to execute the 11 who tried to assassinate you, sir. I need authorization from a Knight of the Round to carry...
That prototype was a failure, but if you give me a little more time, I'm certain I can build one that works.
You were thinking of Yuffie. You did all of it for her sake. History may remember her as a tragic figure, but I still believe in my sister and wish to honor her memory.
I don't know if Cannon was in Aikido.
Excuse
I'll find
me.
out eventually when I get
Something
to
wrong, sir.
react to it.
I'm around. I'll sign it.
Suzaku still can't bring himself to
Are you some kind of masochist?
Huh?
You know you're disliked here, yet you volunteered for Area 11. You're always on trial here, and out of envy and hatred, they try to pull you down.
There's no point in trying to make people understand why I'm doing all these things. Because there was someone who did understand.
Should I really be here for this?
You wanted to see Zero, didn't you?
Yes, but...
Sorry. All the other rooms are in use for special zone preparations.
Oh, I see. You have to keep this confidential too, I guess.
Is there some diplomatic reason for that outfit?
Yes, ma'am, I apologize.
3 Knights of the Round. However, I don't see the Viceroy with you.
We don't need to worry her with the
Are you the same Zero as before, or are you a brand new one?
Zero's truth is not based on who is within, it's the actions that measure the man.
Aha, a philosopher.
1 million people have been mobilized.
1 million?
And they'll all participate.
Yes, but there's one condition. You must let me go. Suggest you punish me by sending me into exile.
And the Black Knights?
He doesn't care about them. He just wants to save his own skin.
Area Law, Section 12, Paragraph 8. It is within the Viceroy's authority to apprehend subversive or rebellious elements and send them into exile.
In that case, you can make the announcement at the opening ceremonies.
That's some kind of sweet deal. If the big terrorist runs away, the little terrorists will shake and quake and disappear.
Perhaps. But where is justice?
Hello everybody, just a reminder that if you go to the link in the description of my Patreon and get the early access tier for $5 a month, you can get access to 4 episodes of Code Geass every single week, and you get them a week earlier. So if you click on for more reactions from me, that's in the description below my Patreon and the early access tier for $5 a month. On with the video.
Legal counselors have confirmed that exiling Zero would be appropriate and within precedent.
Right. That might be for the best. Own desire to forgive them is a personal matter.
Huh?
I wrote Yuffie's name right, didn't I?
Bless.
Is something wrong?
No. It looks like there's someone else who's still grieving for Yuffie's death.
As there are over 1 million people here, verifying personal IDs will have to wait until after the event. The presence of this many 11s is a clear testament to the enormous power and influence that Zero still commands.
Remember, we don't move until they do. Got it?
Yes, my lord.
It can't be Chigusa?
Kaname Ogi, are you out there somewhere?
Are you all right with this now?
Of course, I was just an acting consul. This is an excellent opportunity.
But what about the Black Knights?
The request I made to Britannia yesterday should set us up for the future. Don't be concerned. I just have to last a little longer.
Welcome to the specially administrated zone. I'm overjoyed that so many of you have gathered here for this great event.
You're in no condition for this.
The Japan Special Zone was Princess Euphemia's dream.
But there's still no sign of Zero anywhere.
Before the ceremony officially begins, there is a matter we wish to confirm regarding Zero. All those participating in the Japan Special Zone will have criminal charges against them reduced, and criminals that are Class 3 or lower will have their sentences suspended. The instigator of the murder of former Viceroy Kalaris cannot be forgiven. Therefore, under Special Area Law, Section 12, Paragraph 8, Zero alone shall be banished and sent into exile.
Thank you, my Britannian friends. I am grateful for your lenient treatment.
If there's a riot, we have full license to wipe out all the radical elements. Duly authorized by Miss Lohmeyer.
I don't wish to be in your debt, Suzaku Kururugi. However, I have a question. What does it mean to be Japanese? A nation?
It's in the heart!
Then we're in agreement. A feeling within. A belonging. The culture is carried in the heart. You're Japanese no matter where you are.
I figured they'd try something.
What is it? What's going on? Viceroy.
What's he thinking here?
Cut them down. Yes, my lord.
Hold on! They haven't made any violent moves yet!
Zero may be the one who planned this, but does he have the guts to come out in the open and show himself?
Oh shit!
This is outrageous!
What?
Zero has appeared, but not as expected.
Viceroy not only has ordered Zero into exile, since we are all Zero, all leave this country and
oh my god!
Where we go, we are Japan, for we carry it in our hearts.
To get exiled, everybody! We're all Zero!
Oh, the loophole though. The loophole. That was quality.
Don't panic, it's a bluff. There's no way he can transport 1 million people.
We just got word from the Port Authority.
The Chinese Federation requested safe passage for...
Yes.
Oh, whoa!
We're getting on that?
But it's ice. Won't it melt?
We'll be fine. The
Fuck
ice
Shadow as
ship
well.
is indestructible. It has so much insulating polymer and super Berthier film, the ice will never melt.
Zero's more than an idol now. He's a symbol.
That's incredible.
11s, take your masks off!
Britannian witch! Don't shoot!
Ogi, is that you?
No, I'm Zero.
Sir Kururugi, we can't let 1 million laborers leave the country. Make an example of...
Hold on, please! Zero, order them to take off their masks! Do it now or there'll be another massacre!
Only if you order it, Suzaku.
That's
and
true.
even if we're...
This is an act of rebellion! Order us to fight!
He's forced Suzaku. He's
fighting.
forced to pick, like,
It's
for
your call,
Suzaku.
Suzaku.
He's
You're
forced
in
Suzaku to
charge.
pick a side.
But 1 million people? To let them all go with you?
Annalie's reign will no longer be threatened by our presence.
Even so, this is a dirty way to do it.
Give the order.
I'll do it. Zero!
Crimes have been committed. My own desire to...
If he lets in and lets there be a massacre, he'll be going against what Yuffie did, so...
Yuffie and Nanali both wanted to forgive him. That was our agreement. If we break it, the people will never trust us again. If they're all subversives, why do you want them here? So you can massacre them?
They have challenged Britannian rule, so let them burn in hell.
Zero, can you promise that you'll lead them to salvation?
Of course. And you, Suzaku Kururugi, can you promise the ones who stay behind will find salvation in your hands?
That's exactly why I became a Britannian soldier.
I will trust in the promise you've made.
All Zeros! Sir Kururugi has declared it! The rebels are hereby exiled!
Oh.
Forward to the land of freedom!
Goodbye then, Lady of Britannia.
Is that the first time Psycho
Perfect chance to kill them all
saw
and he's
that?
throwing it away!
Looks like Zero's next performance will be on our stage.
Oh shit, you'll be in China now.
And no one will ever thank him for it, eh?
His whole plan was based on one prediction, that I would give the order to hold fire and let them go. You know me well, Zero.
You are my worst enemy. I know you, Suzaku. And I also know Nanami. That is why I can foresee the outcome. And for now, I am grateful to you, Suzaku Kururugi. Don't ever forget the promise you've made to me.
Okay, episode 8. Oh, another great episode. Love him. I love the fucking... Everything that he does, I can never see coming. And that's what makes it so great, is like, he just pulls things out of the fucking, like, out of the bag that I would never see coming. And it surprises every time, and I love it. I'm guessing then that the other candle was made by Lelouch then. And that's what it was. Oh, such a good episode. Okay, so looking into the, well, I guess it's coming now considering where they're going, but I just wrote down, like, in the opening, there's like a moment where you get obviously you see like the Chinese Federation and a bunch of them, and there's like a mech behind them and whatever, and just I want to see like sort of their involvement and how they kind of get involved. And now that they're kind of heading over there with a bunch of fucking people, it's all going to be revolving around China now then, I guess. Unless that's like, you know, I don't know if they're specifically transporting people over there. I guess that's what they're doing. They're not just like staying on the fucking, on this like big iceberg thing. But yeah, I love like the fact that like Lelouch doesn't want to fight sort of fire with fire, and that's his like kind of goal. I love how he just managed to perfectly turn the tables in his favor. And for once, it's not about him and his goal, but the fact that he managed to get all of these 11s and basically have them all exiled, but to join like together, like, you know, in one, and like have that, you know what I mean, have them all as a group of people and have them. It's just great. Like he's managed to steal them away from Britannia as well, considering they're all going to be just you know treated as just working for like, you know, Britannia. But he's managed to like take them out of that. It's sort of like taking them out of like, you know. I just love it. I love it. He's pulled the cat out of the bag there. I love it. So yeah, Schneisel, he's coming back into it. I kind of get a feel. I don't know really what Schneisel's sort of end goals, or like how he wishes to achieve them. I think his idea is like to, you know, show force but don't, you know, he says before, like you don't like to like overcommit or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? That's the wrong way to go, and end up backfiring. I think his sort of ideals are to more just like show force as opposed to actually using it. You know, so Scheisel does have sort of he has some good morals, good morality about him. But he's like one of the most interesting characters, considering the fact that he comes from Britannia. His demeanor is so like interesting for someone coming from Britannia, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't even seem like one to do any real harm, you know what I mean? Yet there's always that thing though, and there's always that thing where like you see characters that are very, you know, very straightforward, and they don't overexert like their voice, they don't raise any volume, they're just very calm and collected and stuff. And it's those people that generally, those characters that you really need to watch out for, because they're all like, you can always see them with like thinking up like something in the back of their head that they're not presenting to the viewer or anyone else, that they're capable of doing things behind people's backs. So, you know, there's always a thing with Schneisel, which I'm not quite sure exactly where he falls on like a scale, you know what I mean? Because it's easier like with like Cornelia's sort of her morality, and where she sort of you know, you can, what she's like, you know what I mean? You get a good feel for what her character is. With Schneisel, it's a tough one, and a lot of that probably has to do with the fact that, you know, we haven't seen much of him. But yeah, it's definitely it's an interesting one. And also got introduced to a new character called Cannon, who apparently had some, you know, he's important to somewhat in the story, like around like a bunch of important characters. But this is the first time we've ever saw him, so I don't know what kind of part he's gonna play in this story, but we'll find out. I find it interesting how in the meeting that Cecile wanted to be there. And why she felt the need to dress up like all sexily and stuff. Like, does Cecile have a... I don't know. I feel like Cecile... The only thing I can really gather from that is that Cecile has a sort of... a thing for, like, people with sort of high standing. Because she was like that with Schneisel when he turned up in Season 1. And I just find it weird that the fact that she just wanted to be there just to see Zero and to dress up all, you know, all nice and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe she, I don't know. Maybe she was just curious, possibly. But yeah. Yeah, I wrote down Lelouch's obviously wanting to be put in exile, and the fact that, you know what I mean, Zero, again, this has been something that has, you know, been said a few times throughout the series, where Zero isn't just an entity, like, he's not a person, you know what I mean? It's a way of life, you know what I mean? Like, anyone can be Zero. You just put it up like it's the message of Zero. It's not the whole thing. You know, on some level, you know what I mean, you can liken that to religion, and the fact that on the opposite side you've got the Emperor who's trying to take all that down. So it's a good, like, sort of flip of the coin kind of thing. So yeah, really cool. Shinke is gravely sick. He says, you know what I mean, like, you know, like, he doesn't need long or whatever, so, you know, he's probably not long for this world. I don't know what he's got. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. But he's coughing up blood, which is, nope, that's not good. So I wonder what I wonder what Shinke's end goal is then. Obviously, you know, he doesn't like being put into situations alongside. He doesn't like being seen with Zero, so he doesn't like being you know, a part of all the controversial like stuff, but he wants to like get in and sort of I guess do the best that he can for, like, you know, his people, but by staying away from all the shit that it takes to actually put them in the right direction. Of course, he's seen that with Zero, but he's also aware of all the bad shit that the Black Knights can get into, so he's obviously staying away from it. But I'm wondering what his end goal is then. Obviously, he's had this whole thing. He's helped getting all of the rebels and everyone off, you know, being exiled and whatnot. So he's helped them over. So Shinkei's end goal or his plan has to involve something along with the Black Knights as well. He's saying like they're coming over to our place now. I mean, the fact that they've all been sent in exile means that not, like, you know, the Britannia can't go out of their way and just go after them and attack them, which I guess that was the whole point. I guess that's the reason why Shinkei was fine with them all coming over to China, because Britannia can't just follow them over and start attacking, because obviously they're in a sort of I guess a peaceful sort of treaty thing with the Chinese Federation, and they're not attacking them. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes from here now as well. I feel like in these last 4 episodes, there's been very pivotal moments in the story, which I like. I love it that like every single episode for the past few have had something like really hard hitting. That's something that's changing the story a lot. And I don't like. I'm wondering where Lelouch wants to go from here. Like, because he'll still want to fucking fight Britannia, right? I'm just wondering how he's going to do it from where he's at. Because originally I was like, well, wait a minute, he wants to be put into exile, but it's only going to be him, right? And that's what I was thinking at first, until obviously everyone was Zero. And I was like, well, does that mean he's making life better for everyone, and then removing himself from the situation, so he, like, you know, so he can be alone again, and like basically like start from scratch elsewhere or whatever the fuck? Yeah, but now it's interesting that he's going over to China, and he's wherever the Chinese Federation's hung up. I'm guessing it's over in China. But yeah, it's I love how he forces Akko to pick a side, and the fact is that there was only really one choice, because if he was to allow a massacre to happen yet again, not only would he have fucked like Nunnally over, right, but he couldn't do it because basically it was everything that Yuffie, you know, didn't want. So he could he could never choose the other side. It was sort of like I mean, he could have done it if he wanted to, like, you know what I mean, the option was there to do it, but you know he would have never done it. So the fact that Lelouch played it perfectly and forced him, because it was, you know, it was his order to be given, you know what I mean, and Lelouch knew it as well. Lelouch knew that there was no way you could allow that to happen. So yeah, it was really cool. Also, Lelouch, obviously, he was nowhere near the special zone. He's on the sort of that ship, fucking iceberg thing with Sayako and whatnot. That when he came out and he took off the mask and he saw it was Lelouch, was that the first time Sayako was aware that? He must have been, right? I think it was. Yeah. And at that moment, like, Sayako kind of knew that. But Sayako's always been like, a strange one, because she doesn't act. She acts very, very robotic and whatnot. But for some reason, that was really nice to see. Like, I guess the whole time that Sayako had been looking after Nunnally and stuff, and obviously she was aware of Lelouch and whatever, and then just knowing that, like, this whole thing was led by Lelouch, and she turned around, that was the first time she knew. It was like something like that even Sayako was kind of happy about it, you know what I mean? I think that's I don't know why, it just really was just really nice to see for some reason. I think what it probably boils down to is the fact that, like, you know, it's not just, you know, it's Lelouch getting sort of you know, getting the credit he sort of like deserves, like getting, you know, I mean, people like, you know, some people that actually are aware that it's Lelouch that's doing it, you know what I mean, and not just a maskless man, you know what I mean, or a masked man, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, it was confirmed that I still had feelings for Ogie. I knew that anyway, and I picked that out in season 1 at the end where she shot him, because, you know, if she really didn't fucking care for him, she would have killed him. She wouldn't have just shot him once and left him. You know what I mean? So I knew that all the way, like, back from then. You know what I mean? But, you know, it was kind of confirmed here, and I'm kind of wondering what Valletta was actually doing, because she was like under the, you know, she was under the cosh of what Lelouch was doing. Lelouch was like basically blackmailed her. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering what her sort of plan was there. The fact that she jumped down and actually raised a gun to, like, you know, 11s and whatever, and the Japanese at the end there. That, like, what, you know, I thought she would have stayed out of it completely, but it just so happened that luckily she aimed it, like, next to Ogie, because if she'd been anywhere else, God knows. But yeah, at some point they've got to meet again, I'm sure. So yeah, that is all I've got. Again, another great episode. Everything that, like, you know what I mean. This is like, it's when this was being requested. People were, you know, a lot of people said that this show is sort of, you know, the closest thing that people could relate to Death Note. Like, it's the closest show you could probably relate to Death Note, and you know what I mean. There's definitely, like, always been that feeling there, but the thing that I really relate most to it, to them being, like, very similar, and you know, it's nothing, you know, but a compliment. You know what I mean? So if people, because I know some people get annoyed by the comparisons and stuff, and they're like, no, man, just Code Geass is Code Geass, Death Note's Death Note. You know what I mean? I get it, but it's when I say that, like, and I compare it to Death Note, that is nothing but a compliment, because Death Note is like my top, it's in my top 3 anime of all time. It's probably actually, you know, technically my favorite anime of all time, because you know, the other 2 are just like nostalgia trips, but yeah, like, the thing that I relate to most from those is the sort of the surprise nature of it, and also, like, the fact that when you have a smart protagonist, and it's not just brute force all the way kind of thing, and you have something that actually, you know what I mean, the planning and the way the sort of everything, the way his plans work out, and the fact that it surprises you at every turn. It's the same feeling I get when I watched Death Note for the first time. And and you would have that moment in your head where, like, everything that had happened, like, throughout the previous, like, either previous episodes or the episode that you're watching, everything that had, you know, happened up until that point, when it hit all the beats, and then eventually, like, the plan sort of, like, comes to fruition kind of thing, and everything, when, like, all that, like, strategy and stuff is going through your head, and it finally, like, comes to fruition, and you're like, oh my god, there's something so satisfying about it, and it's such a different feeling from, like, you know what I mean, it's just as good a feeling, but it's such a different feeling from something like, you know, like My Hero. Now, My Hero does it because My Hero has, like, implements a lot of, because Deku's quite smart as well, but it implements, like, a lot of sort of strategic planning and stuff like that, but obviously not on the level of this, but like, just like a typical, I don't know, a shonen fight, you know, like Dragon Ball Z or whatever, when you get fucking hyped up for, like, the fucking, like, ultimate attacks and shit like that. It's the same thing, but with, like, on the opposite spectrum, with like, you know, when plans just come together and stuff because of a smart character has figured it all out and shit. It's always great, and it's a great feeling, and honestly, I absolutely love this. I got a fucking t-shirt with it on, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's absolutely great. I absolutely love this anime, so we'll pick this back up again on Friday. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One, there's a Discord. I urge everyone to go over there, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because that's where polls and things start. And also if you just want to come over, talk to me in the community, you're free to do that as well. And Patreon. So if you want to support me, you can do with Patreon. You'll get a bunch of different rewards depending on which tier you actually get. But $5 a month, that's the early access. So for early access, you get access to the Patreon shows a week early. And for Psychopaths and Code Geass, you get access to 4 episodes every single week. And obviously because you get them a week early, you know what I mean? So you get a hell of a lot more episodes than the general public do, and you get them earlier as well. So if you're coming for more reactions from me more frequently, that's where you want to go. $10 a month, that's a full length. So if you want to see my full unedited reaction to all the shows I do, everything I react to gets a full length. Obviously I'll have your own reference footage, you'll be able to play the whole thing, play the whole episode. Then $10 is where you want to go, that's the full length. Exclusive tier, that is the $15 a month. So for that you gain access to another show I'm currently reacting to, which is Parasite. That'll only be for exclusive tier patrons until I've reacted to the whole show, and then it'll go up on YouTube for the general public. Also, all OVA reactions and all movie reactions will be going into the exclusive tier as well. $50, that is the elite tier. So for that you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It'll go at the back of the list. I think there's about 7 or 8 shows that I'm going to have to get through before I ever reach that, so it might take me a while to get round to it. But if you want to jump the queue and go at the very front, then you want to get God tier, which is $100, and that means that your your show gets reacted to next. But that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.